Kamusta mga ka-SoJTV? You are watching SoJannelle. I'm your host, Janelle So, bringing you stories of Filipino immigration and representation. Coming to you today from Austin, Texas, where we are having the first ever The Barrio, which is a collective of Filipino professionals and Filipino organizations and businesses. We are privileged to be giving you today this panel that will talk about Gawang Filipino, which is proudly Filipino-made.
Hi everybody, my name is Dizon. I am the founder of Teofilo Coffee. Our specialty is to highlight all the coffees that we have in the Philippines. And yes, we're importing coffees from the Philippines green and roasting locally in Orange County.
Hi everybody, my name is Junalyn Alo, one of the founder and vice president for business development of Liqueur.
Tyson Branz, one of the founders of Ube Green Liqueur. Make this in the Philippines at the moment, and so far we have started to export this product to 10 countries globally.
So Gawang Pinoy, made in the Philippines. Who among you here are familiar with the Philippines, maybe born and raised there, or maybe born there, or maybe has been going there for vacation? See, when you hear made in the Philippines, what comes to mind? Proud, yes. Kabayan Remit is represented here, thank you. What else? Authenticity, yes, made in the Philippines. What else? Maybe culturally relevant, right? Made in the Philippines. But you know what, guys? It's not easy to bring those products. So we're gonna ask these brave souls, I call them brave because it's not easy. They're putting in everything. I'm sure we're gonna be talking about struggles too. But Ron, what made you want to bring Philippine coffee to the US?
Because we deserve it. And that's what it is. I'm just so proud that we've had coffee in the Philippines for 284 years. I think we should be, no, not be, we are the best at coffee. And that's what we're trying to do, is just expose what we're really good at, giving ourselves as our people. What we do here for the barrio, all the people, businesses that are here, we need to start, bringing everybody up. So I think this is, the farmers can get the representation that they deserve.
Yes.
Just like us.
For Obe, it was actually not our plan because we started the business in 2016, right? And then during COVID, we became so creative, and then it comes to our idea to make Obe. Obe in the Philippines, for every fiesta, we always have Obe, right? On the table, like dessert. So we came up to create Obe Cream Liqueur, like the first one who created. And then it was a proudest moment when we, sent it to awards, and it won a good recognition, and it won the biggest award in London as the world's best cream liqueur. So, yeah. So, and then what's funny is Filipino, or fil-am from US went to Manila, buy this, hide it under luggage, and then share it to everybody here, and then we got bombarded hey, you guys need to sell it here in the US. So I was I'm gonna tell Tyson are we ready for that? Because US is a big market, but we just started to get the product here last year.
Yeah, that's probably a good time to hand that to me, because I was the one who had to deal with all the compliance to get the product here, and I can tell you now it's called the United States of America, but each state feels like a different country when it comes to legislation and compliance. So as Junalyn said, and also Ron, I think the time is now for a lot of Filipino products, and the real story is actually the farmers and the produce in the Philippines, and kind of how undervalued that is in the Philippines, but actually how valuable it is in the export market. And I think that's the biggest challenge for us at the moment is, these are coffee is one thing and ube is another, but there's probably 50 more products there that are really valuable in the export market, and not only valuable as a commodity price-wise, but culturally valuable to Filipinos. A couple of things I can think about is durian, all this amazing produce that comes from Davao, like really valuable products, vanilla beans and things like that. I guess what our challenge is as manufacturers is, firstly, how do we get them into the market? How do we brand them? And then obviously relying on the Filipinos over here to support them is the challenge, the goal.
Summarizing that, they're bringing Gawang Filipino products here to the US because you're right, we deserve it. And because you're right, it's something for us to draw pride from, pride in being Filipinos. But also, Tyson, I like that you mentioned giving livelihood to the Filipino farmers back in the Philippines. We're going to be talking about that when we return on the show. Don't go away. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us here on SoJannelle. Happy Sunday if you're watching on the Filipino channel. Happy Saturday if you're watching on ANC, and happy Monday if you're watching on
KXLA.
We are also available on demand on I1TFC, and we are always on our social media platforms at SoJannelleTV. Information on the screen. We are coming to you today from the first ever The Barrio from Austin, Texas, where we are talking about Gawang Filipino, which is Philippine products being exported here to the US. So let me tell you a story. I was at the Philippine Consulate General not too long ago, and I asked, what kind of calls do you get? What do people need? And the Consul General said, you'll be surprised. We get calls from women asking us to locate their husbands in the Philippines, right? It is funny, but if you think about it, it is sad. You know why? This is an example, manifestation of the disintegration of the Filipino family. Why is it disintegrating? Because women, Filipinos, are forced to go out of the country, go to another country, and work. And so we're bringing them livelihood, we're causing them to stay in the Philippines, at the same time take care of their children and take care of their families. Teofilo, can you tell us about the production of the beans in the Philippines? Can you give us an insight to how your farmers are essentially keeping this business alive?
With Filipino coffee, since we have a long history, they continue to educate the next generation of farmers. So that's where Teofilo sits. Is we try to work with every farmer directly, with working with the Philippine Embassy as well, making sure that the farmers have the ability to also harvest the beans and also train the next generation. So, and like I said, we've been in this industry for a long time, and we just have to talk about it in order to make it happen, right? So that's what we're helping them do. We create the need so that we can create the supply for here.
Right.
So then we will continue to buy from these farmers, more sustainable. So that's what we focus on.
So since we create this product, we source it from different regions. And then last year I was in Bohol. I discovered the original ube grows there. So I went down there and talked to the farmers. One of our project as well is CSR. We of course same with Teofilo coffee. We support the farmers in Bohol, and then what I really want to happen is teach the farmers or provide programs, because they're just selling the crop to like us.
Mm-hmm.
So now we want to jump in the picture and also help the farmers outsource ube from to Germany to the US and around the globe, because ube is gaining tremendous popularity in the market. And us Filipina, and Bohol is 3 hours from my hometown in Cebu. I really want to help, and that's why I've been tapping to in a department like agriculture or DTI to help the farmers, to learn how to do another business,
Right.
not just planting ube and harvesting it.
Right.
We want them to succeed as well. So for our product, it's also a big recognition to the farmer, because without them, there's also no ube in the market, right?
One of the things that is is not happening there at the moment is adding more of the value on the Filipino side, right? So for us to tell the story of ube, we first have to create a market for it in America and create a demand which we can then kind of create more value back on the Filipino side, right? So we say, you kind of have to test the market first and say, hey, let's say we've got a 50,000 bottle a year demand for ube in the US. We can then take that data and apply it back to the Philippines. Because at the start when we did this, it was really just an experiment, and we kind of didn't realize, like Juna said, once we realized it was going to work, we then had to go back into the supply chain and figure out what it needed for the scaling part of the business. And where we're at the moment is very fortunate because we're at that point now where we know what the demand is, so we can go back into the farming side and say and add some real value. And that's kind of what we've seen is that they need some more investment back into technology and things like that. And I think that's the only way that you can start to create better livelihoods there. So there isn't a demand, hey, I have to go and work away from my husband in America, and you don't have to worry where they are and finding them because we're creating real value back in the Philippine side.
I love that, creating value back in the Philippine side. We're going to be talking about the struggles of an entrepreneur promoting small and medium enterprises in the Philippines. But that's when we return on the show. Don't go away. So Janelle is your go-to for stories of Filipino immigration and representation. We are coming to you today from Austin, Texas for the first ever The Barrio, and we are talking about Gawang Filipino. You know what I like about this is if you've been around, there are booths selling Filipino-centric products. Not necessarily made in the Philippines, but Filipino-centric, meaning culturally. We have the keychains, flags, and all that. But what I like about you guys is you've taken it upon yourselves as a business to actually bring the products from the Philippines to here. Now, for those entrepreneurs who are maybe thinking of that, you mentioned durian. There are others. There's Filipino furniture. There's, the export market. The possibilities are endless. There's jewelry. There's clothing that you can bring from the Philippines to here. There's pearls that you can bring from the Philippines. There's just so many. But for those who are watching, know that it's not easy. Tell us about the struggles, what they need to think about, what they need to take care of if they want to bring a business from the Philippines to the United States.
Honestly, could we say it's like a struggle? Not really. I think honestly it's just puzzle. We just have to, challenges we have to figure out. Anything that you want, you gotta work hard for it. And if you really want it, then you gotta, there's no excuse for it, you just gotta do it, right? So it's just changing your mindset on and giving yourself a why. So like, why are you doing this? Like, I want to change the Philippines. Like, I want to make that better, but just like them, right? Like, that's what I want to see. I honestly don't see struggle. I see opportunity, really, to make something better for us.
I'm not sure if we have the rest of the day to talk about challenges in small business, but I can give you a couple. I think as a small business, one of the biggest challenges is financing, obviously. But at the same time, there's no point going to get financing unless you have a great product, because that's a bit of a recipe for disaster as well. So what's another big challenge for us?
Compliance.
Again, compliance. Compliance in the Philippines is interesting as well because my background was distilleries in Australia, and then when we moved to the Philippines, it was a completely different list of requirements and things like that, FDA and BIR and taxation and things like that. So having to study that market, which was very challenging. Not only that, then coming to the US market, we had to learn a whole new system here.
Because, the legislation, the taxes, the rules, is completely different. But we're like, we're gonna get through this.
And you are getting through this. Guys, let's give them a round of applause for it. Now, Let's talk about this. Not too long ago, and he went viral for that. Michael Cinco, a renowned Filipino designer, posted on social media about asking for free stuff. I'm sure you get those too. Asking your friends and family, like, can you just do it for free? Can you just can you give me a pack of beans? Can you give me a bottle or 12 bottles because I'm having a party and we're friends anyway? Tell us about your experience in that. Because you know what? I want to shine a light on that. I'm wearing Noble Creations. Every time I wear stuff from a designer, I either buy something else if they want to lend me something, or I buy it myself, because that's how you support Filipino businesses. You don't ask for free, right? Because these things cost. These entrepreneurs, tell me about that. You're nodding your head. Yes.
I can be honest, I don't think I've had that kind of like do it for free. Because it's coffee, right? Like, I think everyone's kind of understanding maybe. And I think there's some explanation when I talk about the coffee. I'm not trying to sell the coffee. I'm just telling them our history of coffee.
For us, yes, we get it a lot. But especially in the industry like chef and the hospitality industry, like first of course they will ask, hey, can you give me a free bottle? I'm gonna test it with my products. But we also get the benefit back because, you know, let's say they're gonna make a dessert. So if their customers like it, they're gonna buy from us. And even for bars, like you don't know the product, we're brand new. So of course we have to give free samples. I know it's actually common in the Philippines as well. But the good thing about it is most of them really support that, and especially the bar, like, all right, you give me free. If I like it, we're gonna put your product in their menu, and then we're gonna buy it.
Right.
So I don't think it's really a free. The good thing is we get the benefit back.
Right.
But we're also helping like chefs. You know, we're open for collaborations as well.
Sometimes those opportunities are actually some of the best marketing you can do, right? Especially if somebody's going to give you a nod and a shout out on a TV show or something like that. From a planning point of view, you kind of have to factor that into your business model in some ways, that you're going to have to do some of that. We kind of slide it into our marketing expenses. But at the same time, it's also quite challenging because, you know, with each business, they have different business models and cash conversion cycles and things like that. You know, for us, from start to finish, from when we place the orders for raw materials and when the product's sitting on the store in America, and then when we get paid, sometimes that's 120 days. So, you know, it can be challenging, but it's very important to try and help out where you can. Sometimes that's the best way to do some marketing and things like that too.
To me, it sounds like what you're doing is also CSR, because you're bringing pride, you're providing jobs. When you also have to make money, you have to make profit in order to keep this going, in order to scale this. So where is the line? I'm gonna have you think about that. We will return, don't go away. Down to the last segment of SoJannelle today, coming to you from the first ever barrio in Austin, Texas. We are talking to wonderful Filipino businesses, Filipino products. Tyson and Junalyn are from Ube Cream Liqueur. Watch out for that coming to your nearest store very, very soon. And Teofilo Coffee, I know Teofilo has a brick and mortar in Los Alamitos. And do you also supply beans to different stores?
Yeah, currently we wholesale outside of our business as well, whether it's extracts that we make or roasted beans or green beans. So we kind of cover a spread of products that we sell, whether it's across the states.
So guys, we are talking about Gawang Filipino, Philippine-made products that are being introduced here by these awesome entrepreneurs. You know, we're also, when they bring the products here coming from the Philippines, they're also providing livelihood to the farmers, to the workers in the Philippines, so they don't have to leave the country. Essentially, they don't have to leave their families, so they can stay and work in the Philippines, right? But how can the community support you in your endeavors?
I think how people obviously can support is, you know, obviously buying our products, right? But it's not a product I'm trying to sell. It's the belief that we have this stuff here. I don't have to sell anything. Like that coffee, it's yours. It's ours. It's from our land. Let's support these farmers. Let's give them a better life that they have. Just because we're here now, right? So we have that opportunity to give that same opportunity to them.
The community, in order for them to support us, of course, like marketing, like, you know, the Filipino chismes, like, hey, I have this product here, you know.
Word of mouth, yeah.
Yeah, the word of mouth, it will scattered around. For Obe, what we're bringing here, not just the product, but the culture. Because, you know, during World War, you know, the farmers, you know, they find out how to eat the ube. So that's kind of like their survival food.
As a brand creator, one of the biggest challenges and one of the ways for it to really succeed is to try and figure out how it's going to fit into the community, but also get the community to kind of build a community around the product, right? So for us, one of the most things that kind of makes me so proud is just the way that if I look on people's faces when they try it for the first time and things like that, and it kind of makes you feel like, wow, they love it, and wow, they're gonna kind of take it and run with it, and that's what we need from the community. We kind of need them to say, hey, take it to a party with your friends, and one bottle goes in there, there's 20 people there, and then all of a sudden you've got 20 more potential customers, and that's what we've seen with our very limited marketing budget in the Philippines. These things kind of just go viral, and that's because people, you know, product's got to find a way to emotionally attach itself to the person, and they'll kind of run with it for us. And that's why we're so proud of this product, because it's that's how it hits the market, and it's kind of give it its own life. You know, we brought it to the world, and it's going to have its own life, but we're just trying to manage that.
What would be your one sentence advice as Filipino entrepreneurs?
The journey's never over. Just gotta keep doing it until it's done.
It's not really easy to be in business and to be in relationship as well, because, you know, you have to balance. But for me, best advice is, if you have that passion in your heart, you need to chase that until you get it.
Don't do it. I mean, I found that the most rewarding thing I've ever done is work for myself, and it's the other thing is you get a chance to be super creative, and you get a chance to tell a story, and you get a chance to meet amazing new people and friends, and that's more rewarding than anything. Getting to meet people and tell a story and kind of help farmers along the way. I mean, it's a beautiful thing to do.
We are getting inspiration from it as Filipinos, and that's why we're doing this. And that's why we need the support of the community. So can we all, you know, agree that we're going to be supporting each other? Yes? Can we all agree that we're going to be investing in our community? Yes. Mabuhay kayo for what you're doing. And also, thank you for joining us. I'll see you all again next week, same time, same channel. I'm your host, Janelle So, and this has been SoJannelle at the Barrio in Austin, Texas.